Today we're going to talk about physical books, e-readers like a Kindle, and audiobooks. Not every book is the same, and not every format offers the optimal reading experience for that book. I want to share some of my experience with purchasing a book for a specific format and just not having a great time with it. I want to share some of my mistakes to make sure that it doesn't happen to you as well. So if you want to read more and you want to make sure that your money is going to the best place or your time is invested in the best experience possible, then keep watching. Hey everyone, my name is Elliot. I make videos about writing and the creative process, and big fan of books. I read a lot, at least I try to read a lot. Notoriously, I read a lot of books at once. More on that in this video here if you're interested. I also read a lot in different formats. I read some in physical books, I read some in my Kindle, and I read some in an audio format. And I have learned that certain books, at least for me, work better in certain formats. So let's start by talking about physical books. My relationship with physical books have changed a lot in the past 15 years. I used to only read physical books. If I can't get a physical book, I'm not reading the book at all. But that felt super restrictive and super limiting and just all around inconvenient sometimes, because take a look at some of these books. I have here Anna Karenina, which honestly, I bought this at the beginning of the pandemic thinking that, you know what, it's time. I read something, I'm gonna have a lot of free time to read this book. I haven't started yet. It's just so daunting. It's like heavy. I don't really want to bring it around anywhere. Look at this. I'm trying not to buy too many physical books because I just feel like they take up a lot of space. First and foremost, odds of me reading it again is not that high. So just to have it sitting in my house doesn't make sense. However, there are certain books that I will buy, and they're these smaller ones. For example, this is Show Your Work by Austin Kleon. This is just such a great reference book to have around, and if you need a jolt of inspiration, you just flip to a page and then you read it, and then it just resets your mind. Of course, fellow YouTuber Struthless, I love this guy. So inspiring. A lot of great art in this. I am always down to support an artist by buying their books. So that's one of the requirements. If it has great illustration, great visuals, really, and if I'm supporting an artist. There are also books that you should just buy and have forever, and I'm talking about reference books like this is the PDT cocktail book. I love this book. Whenever I'm throwing a party or anything like that, I just pull it up and see what cocktails I should prepare, and it gives me some inspiration. Reference books, recipe books, those are books that you should buy. Big giant books like these, at least when it comes to fiction, that's when you should consider getting it on a Kindle. For these giant books, it's almost unreasonable for me to borrow this from a library because there's no way I could finish this in 4 weeks, even if I renew it 3 more times and I have like 3 months to work on it. I am still not confident that I could get through it. And that's why I love the Kindle for this, is because when it comes to a really big book, I don't feel the pressure of needing to finish it really quickly. I could slowly chip away at it, and I kind of like that. And it's just easy to carry and easy to read at night. It's got this light, and it's great for highlighting things. Kindles are also great for learning new words because you could just tap on a word and it'll highlight it for you and give you the definition. It also keeps track of all the words that you've highlighted. So I love that. So it's great for reading complicated books that you want to challenge yourself with, whether it's in length or complexity. I really appreciate that. However, what the Kindle lacks is this ability to quickly flip through and find a page. Tools of Titans, for example. Love this book. Like to just kind of leaf through it sometimes and see what inspires me. And it's hard to do that with the Kindle, you kind of have to, it feels like you're using a computer. It doesn't have that analog feel to it that you could just kind of see what's interesting. You have to go in there with something in mind, and then you'll find something easily. I find that to be always the case with digital things, is that if you go into it having something in mind, then it's easy to search. But if you're just kind of flipping through, seeing what catches your eye, a Kindle is not good for that. So physical books still have purpose in this world. I hope to never live in a world where physical books don't exist anymore. However, there's also a place for Kindles. There's certainly books that, to me, make more sense to be a Kindle form. For example, I'm reading the Wheel of Time series now, and these books are huge. Imagine getting 14 of these and just like keeping it in your house. Transitioning to a Kindle to read those books as well. Next, let's talk about audiobooks. I have a love-hate relationship with audiobooks. I think some books work great in this format, and some books just don't work for me anymore. I find that audiobooks are great when it's nonfiction. I find that when I'm listening to nonfiction books, I could actually process it in my mind, and I'm not following a narrative, and I could zone out for like 5 seconds and not miss like a key turning point in the story. After listening to that first Mistborn book by Brandon Sanderson, I was like, I'm not appreciating this book at all this way. I listened to The Foundation by Isaac Asimov, totally lost on me. Just a wasted experience in my opinion. I couldn't get into it at all because fiction to me just doesn't work as well in the audio format. Nonfiction works great though. Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari, that is a great audiobook experience. Fiction, especially genre fiction, just doesn't work that well for me. For a while, I was really into making cocktails, and I got this book called The Drunken Botanist. It's just little sections about each individual plant that people can use in cocktails. For example, there'll be a section about junipers, and it'll describe the history of junipers and then the usage and what cocktails work best with juniper flavors in it. I'm listening to it on the audiobook, and I felt like I was just losing so much. It was just like a Wikipedia paragraph about this thing, and I'm missing all the visual elements of it. Getting that book on Audible was not the best way to appreciate that book. I today wish I could turn that audiobook into a physical book that I can reference. Okay, one last bonus format I want to talk about. We carry one of these with us every day. I think it's really smart to upload a book onto your phone, whether you're reading from the Books app or you just download it as a Google Doc. Recently, I read All Tomorrows by C.M. Kuzmin on my phone. It's great. It got these short, punchy sections. It was perfect for when I was just waiting for something, whether I'm waiting in line or I'm waiting for someone to finish doing something and we're gonna meet up. I could just open this and read a passage or two. And I find that having a book like that is wonderful to carry around on your phone whenever you have an opportunity, because hey, we're all looking for these spare moments in our lives to read more. Thank you for watching. I hope this video helps you think about the next book that you're gonna pick up, next book that you're gonna purchase, and what format actually works the best for it, so that you can have the optimal experience and that you won't end up having a book in your house that you kind of just resent. I believe the medium in which we consume our content is as important as the content itself. The medium is the message, as Marshall McLuhan would say. I think that leaves us with a lot to think about for the next book we want to read, and how the format could fit our lifestyle, and how each format can make the biggest impact possible for us. That's all I have to say for that. I hope this video helps, and if you want more videos about writing and the creative process, check out these one right here. My name is Elliot. I'll see you next time. Happy reading.